This is about a unit vector. So generally, how do we represent a unit vector? Suppose if we have a vector, a bar if we have, so how do we represent a bar in terms of its magnitude and direction? A cap we will be writing. Okay, A is magnitude and A cap is its direction. This A cap only here we are calling it as unit vector. So this unit vector will have magnitude 1 and it will have direction along the given vector direction. That means along the A direction it will be there. Okay, suppose if I want to know this A cap if you want to know, what we do, we will be taking A bar, okay, vector A, in the denominator what we will write, A we will be writing modulus of vector A. Here, what does it mean modulus of vector A when we are taking, modulus of vector A, it means that only magnitude of A. Right? Further, we will find how to find this modulus of a given vector. We will solve in a problem. We will come to know. Okay? This is how we write a direction of a vector. Now, also, in addition to this, I also told orthogonal vectors. So those orthogonal vectors can also be treated as orthogonal unit vectors, I can say. Orthogonal vectors are orthogonal unit vectors. Orthogonal unit vectors. Oh. So in this orthogonal unit vectors, what we are going to see in this, we will take coordinate axis, right? So three-dimensional concept we will be taking. So if we take coordinate axis, oh, already we had a small discussion on this, and I'm continuing with the same. Okay, so I'm taking three coordinate axis over here. Right now, this is x-axis, y-axis, and this I'm considering as z-axis. Now, if we locate any point, so any point P, if I locate over here, x, y, z, three coordinates are required to specify the point P in the space. Now, so x along x-axis, if it is having a value x, then if I want to specify that it has value along x-axis only, to specify the direction, we will be using I cap. Okay, so to specify the direction, we will be using I cap, right? So I cap indicates the direction along the x-axis. Next, J cap indicates the direction along the y-axis, and K cap indicates the direction along the z-axis. These I cap, J cap, K cap, these are called orthogonal unit vectors. Orthogonal unit vectors. So that means these represent some direction along the axis, and those values will be unit. Okay, so that is about orthogonal vectors. These are mutually perpendicular to each other, right? So when we go into vectors multiplication of vectors, we will come to know about these in detail further. Okay, here only we are seeing what are orthogonal unit vectors, that's all. And what about its magnitude? So I cap magnitude, if I write, so I cap magnitude is what? Its value is 1. So why it is 1? Because we have already told you that it is a unit vector. Unit vector value magnitude is 1, right? So that is all about the unit vectors concept. Now, further if we go further, so here, so vector addition we are speaking. Generally, whatever we have, algebraic addition means 3 plus 6 if it is there, directly we will take it as a 9. This is algebraic addition. So here we are going with vector addition. So to take vector addition, what do? We will be taking two vectors. I am taking two vectors, A bar, comma B bar. I am taking two vectors. Any two vectors I am taking. So these two vectors I am representing. General representation only I am making. One vector A bar is in this particular direction, and B bar is some like in this particular direction. Okay. So these two vectors are given to us. So what we have to do? We have to add these two vectors. To add these two vectors, what we do? General method I am telling. Generally, we will take a bar vector. Okay? A bar vector I am taking. Whatever given here, that I am taking. And so a bar will have, any vector will have tail and head, right? So that is tail and this is head. Now, so what next I am doing? I am bringing second vector tail to the first vector head. So like this. So it is in this particular direction. Same way I'm keeping as it is. Okay. Now, however, the direction is the same direction I am maintaining over here. Now, so these are two given vectors. What we have done, I have taken a bar vector and b bar vector I brought to near to that. Wherever head of a bar is there, near to the tail of b bar I brought. Now, so to add these two, what we do is, general way is, we will join first vector tail to the second vector head. Okay, first vector tail to second vector head if you do. First vector tail to second vector head, we will draw one vector, and this, whatever we have drawn here, this will give us a resultant vector. Resultant vector I am taking as some r. Okay, so now what we can write from this? R bar is equals to a bar plus b bar. So this is how we add vectors. Right now, in this, this is generalized example. Suppose if two vectors are parallel to each other, I mean, if they are in same line, so that example also we'll see once. Here I will be drawing two vectors. Two vectors I am taking the same two vectors, a bar and b bar. And if the a bar and b bar vectors, so this is a bar, and one more vector is b bar. So this is a line over here. Both I am considering string. Now, so what happens if we take addition of this? This is a bar and this is b bar. So what we have to do according to this procedure? We have to take tail of first vector and head of second vector. We will be joining them. If we join them, we will get a straight line. This line only. Without this armor, we will get a straight line. This totally is our addition. A bar plus b bar, it will come. Right? So this is general way of adding two vectors. If we have more than this, what we do? If c bar vector, one more is also there, suppose in this one. If one more vector c bar, if it is there, like this is one more vector if it is there. So what we do? We will add here one more. Right? So we will be taking. Now this is c bar. So what we generally do? We will take from this first vector tail to the last vector head. Now this is our sorry. So up to here it will come. From here to here it will come as a straight line. Right? So that is how we add two vectors. Right? Now, any number of vectors can be added in this general method. Right? I just gave example with two vectors. Now we can add in this. Now here we have some vector loss. Okay? We have some vector loss. Subtraction of vectors also will be there. After completion of addition of vectors, I will go with the subtraction of vectors. That will be easy like this only. Okay? If you understand this addition of vectors concept, easily you can go with the subtraction of vectors easily. Right? So now, in this, further if we go further, our next one is we have two laws of vector addition. One is, the first one is triangle law of vector addition. Triangle law of vector addition. Next one is parallelogram. Parallelogram law of vector addition. Okay, and one more also will be there. Polygon law of vector addition. This they never asked it, but anyhow it will be there. I will just cover it. Polygon law of vector addition. These three are about vector additions only. Okay, so if you know this triangle law of vector addition, polygon law, parallelogram law of vector addition will be easy. Most of the time, in the last final exams also, this question was asked. Parallelogram law of vector addition. Parallelogram law of vector addition is important. Okay, So if you know triangle law of vector addition, this will be easier because most of the construction will be involved in triangle law only. Same thing will be followed over here. Okay, so I'll go with triangle law of vector addition first. Then we will move further with the parallelogram law of vector addition. Right now, so our first concept is what? Triangle law of vector addition. Now, triangle law of vector addition. In this, what we take here is if two vectors represent, statement is important. If two vectors, if two vectors represent, if two vectors represent two sides of a triangle. If two vectors represent two sides of a triangle, then so what we are doing, we are adding here. Then the resultant of those two vectors, the resultant those two vectors is the third side of the triangle. Okay, so that is how we take triangle law of vector addition. I'll show you once simply so that it will be easy. Like previous, how we have added vectors only. So arrow marks I'll put it later. So I have two vectors over here. So what we have, I have two vectors over here. One vector is A and other vector is this, suppose. Okay. Now, so these two are representing two sides of a triangle only, right? So these two are representing two sides of a triangle. Now, if two vectors represent two sides of a triangle, so what we are saying, the resultant of these two addition will give third side of the triangle, right? So the resultant is what? Third side of the triangle. So the third side will be this, right? So this is how we take a vector addition by using triangle law of vector addition. Now, suppose that this vector is some p bar. Okay. So this vector is some p bar, this vector is some q bar. So this will become r bar is our resultant vector. Okay. Now this is p bar and this is q bar. The resultant is our r bar. Right. So we will find out. We'll try to get an expression for magnitude of this resultant vector. Okay. So what is the magnitude of resultant vector? We will derive. So we will go further in derivation of this. Then we will continue. So according to triangle law of vector addition, I am drawing over here. If two vectors represent two sides of a triangle. So I am taking smaller figures. Two vectors are representing two sides of a triangle. Now, the resultant will be third side of the triangle. No? So this is first vector. Vector. Mute yourself. Mute yourself. If you're having disturbance at your home, mute yourself. So we have, I am considering here two vectors. P bar is one vector and this is Q bar is other vector. So what we will get, if we want to get resultant vector, these two are representing like two sides of a triangle. So third side of the triangle will give us the resultant of these. Resultant means what? Adding of, when we add P and Q, that addition will be given by this resultant. Okay. Now, and this resultant I am taking it as some R bar vector. Now, so to find this resultant magnitude, I am finding magnitude of resultant only. Okay. So that I am writing over here. What we are going to find magnitude of resultant vector. Magnitude of resultant vector. vector. Okay. So magnitude means it will not have any more, it will not have that bar over here. Okay. So only R we are going to find, right? So to do that, what we do, we will make small construction to this. Okay. We will make small construction to this. I am taking some points over here. So the tail of first vector I am considering it as some A, and this I am considering it as B, this I am considering it as C. So to know this hypotenuse part, it is not a right angle triangle. I am making it right angle triangle. I am extending AB, and from C I am drawing one normal. Okay. So this point I am taking it as some D. Now, so from this complete triangle I can calculate R. From from which triangle we are taking? From triangle A, A, from triangle A, B, C. Okay. So whatever construction I have made, based on that I'm taking ADC is a right angle triangle. That's the reason I'm taking ADC. So from there, if I take the triangle ADC, if I want resultant, so AC is our hypotenuse. So what we will get, AC square is equals to AD square plus CD square will write. Okay. Now in this, so AC is our resultant. R square is equals to AD is what? AD is nothing but AB plus BD whole square plus CD square. Now here we do not know some values. AB we know. AB is nothing but our vector P. BD we do not know. That we have made construction. CD also we do not know. So we have to find the BD and CD further. So first to find BD, I'm going to find the BD further. What we are taking. So this angle I am considering it as some theta. Okay. Now if this is the theta, what we will get? Now I am taking trigonometric function from this triangle. So theta opposite side is our CD. So let me take this as theta because it will be easy. This is the theta. Okay. Now, so what we are having, this is theta, and in this, from this triangle, this BD is our adjacent, CD is our opposite. So I want BD side. So further, adjacent side, if you want, we will be writing for cos theta. Cos theta formula is what? Adjacent side by hypotenuse. So adjacent side by hypotenuse. So for that, if we write cos theta is equals to adjacent side is our BD, which we want to find. Hypotenuse is what in this triangle? Our Q. Okay. So Q we are having. So we want BD, that implies BD is equals to Q. If I multiply this side, it will become Q cos theta. Right. So that is, we found the BD value that I can substitute over there, and I will also find the next CD value. Then it will be easy for our finding out the resultant value. So further, so CD is what in the same triangle? In the same triangle, if you go with CD, in the triangle BDC triangle, if you take CD is our opposite side. Opposite side means we have to go with sine function. Sine theta is what? Opposite side by hypotenuse. Now, so that means sine theta is equals to what we are left out? Opposite side is CD and hypotenuse is our Q. Now, so CD is equals to this Q will be multiplied over here. Q sine theta we will get. Right? Now, so this is the CD value and this is BD value. If we substitute in both of them in the resultant, we will get a magnitude of resultant vector. R square is equals to AB is our P. I am taking only magnitude. P plus AB plus BD. BD is our Q cos theta. Q cos theta whole square is there, plus what else is there? CD square. CD is Q sin theta. Q sin theta whole square. Right? Now, if we simplify this further, what we get? This is A plus B whole square formula. So what we get? P square plus Q square cos square theta plus 2PQ cos theta plus this one is what? Q square sin square theta. Right? Now here q square two times it has come. I am taking q square common. Q square if I take out common, here one sin square theta is there, here one cos square theta is there. So what we will get? Sin square theta plus cos square theta we will be getting, okay, plus 2pq cos theta we are getting. Okay, sin square theta plus cos square theta is 1 from trigonometric identities. So what we get? P square plus q square. Okay, anyhow it is 1, so q square into 1 it is q square plus what else is left out? 2pq 2pq cos theta we got. This is our r square. Right? Now still further if we write an expression for r, so r is equals to what we can write? I will write over here itself. It will get over, only one step is left out now. Now, so r is equals to, if I write, so what we write? R is equals to, the root will go other side, square will go other side, and it will become root. So square root of, so what we are getting? P square plus q square plus 2p q cos theta we are getting. Okay, so that is our resultant magnitude. Okay, so whatever resultant we have, so that resultant magnitude is what? P square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta. Okay, so theta should be known there. Okay, then only we can find out. Right, so this is how we find resultant of a resultant magnitude of a two vectors addition. Okay, so when we are adding two vectors, we want resultant of that, we have to do this when they are inclined to each other. If they are not inclined, if the angle between the two vectors, if it is 0, what happens if they are not inclined? So this angle is what? It is not angle between them, angle between the vector and this. That means this vector is if we extend that, what happens? It will be angle between both of them. That's the reason I called angle between them. Now, if the angle between them, if it is given, then we will calculate by using this. If the angle is not there, if both are straight like this, so what happens? Angle between them, if it is not there, so what happens if theta is not there? So we'll substitute theta is equals to 0, square root of p square plus q square plus 2pq will get. Right? So that is how we solve resultant by using triangle of vector addition. Right? So that is all about triangle of vector addition.